sorry, man. I just wanted to say good afternoon to everyone that is here present. Afternoon to the councillors, to the administration, to the audit committee. Afternoon to the public, members of the public that are out there listening through the Teams meetings on your Gmail and your Facebook. Thank you very much. This is our meeting, Infrastructure Service Committee meeting, the Section 80. We are starting at 2. We just finished with Finance and Governance. So that's the reason we are starting at 2. Committee members, I myself as a chairperson, Matika, Councillor Lavey, Councillor Kwinana, Councillor Anaki, Councillor Ngezu. Thank you very much. Members present is, let's start with members present. The councillors, what committee members are present? Where is Councillor Lavey? Councillor Lavey?
Here we go. How are you? Chair, I'm here.
Right. Thank you very much, Councillor Lavey. The next councillor is Councillor Kwinana. Are you present? Thank you very much, Councillor Kwinana. Oh, Councillor Kwinana. Mama Naki, are you present? Councillor Naki, are you present? So, Mama Naki, yeah, maybe you're still trying to log in. Councillor Ngezu, are you present? Thank you very much, Councillor Ngezu. Believe there is no member absent without leave. Members absent with leave. Believe there's none so far. We're still trying to check Manaki. We're still trying to. Which other councillors are present? Can you just indicate? Other councillors are present? Can they just indicate?
Councillor Vomerans, chairperson.
Thank you very much, Councillor Vomerans. Next, who's other councillor present?
Chokolo here, speaker. Your chairperson. I'm here.
Thank you very much, Councillor Jokes. Thank you very much. Okay.
Councillor Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Councillor Salasi.
Chairperson, Councillor Strubel.
Thank you very much, Councillor Strubel. Yes. Next. Thank you very much. Let's go to the officials present. We'll start with the acting MM. Which are the officials that are present in this meeting?
Chairperson, I'm here. I'm just dealing with a matter at the moment. I am in the meeting, but I'm here. I'm going to ask that your director, Pravir Hariprasad, introduce his team to you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Chairperson. Director, over to you.
Greetings, Chairperson. I'm here. It's Director Infrastructure Services, Pravir Hariprasad present. Today with me in my boardroom, I have Mr. Royden Parry, who's present. I've got Mpumelelo Nzuzo, Manager PMU, Mpumelelo. Okay. And I've got Jacques Lawrence, who's also present. Mr. Marie will join us in the next 5 minutes. Thank you, Chairperson. Everybody else is present in my department. Thank you.
Thank you, Director. For the benefit of the public, can you introduce the titles? You only introduce Mr. Zuzu, introduce Mr. Roy and Mr. Jack Lawrence. Their titles.
Sorry, Chairperson, there seems to be a bit of an echo. We can't hear you clearly.
Sorry, I was saying that, Director, for the benefit of can you please, I was saying that for the benefit of the public, can you please introduce their titles, please, your Jack and Mr. Royd. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chairperson. Mr. Royden Perry is the Manager of Water and Sewer. Mpumalelo Nzuzo is the Manager PMO, which is Project Management Office. Jacques Lawrence is the Manager Electromechanical Services. And Sean Marie is the Manager Roads and Stormwater. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Director. Is there any other directors present, MM? I'm not sure if there are any other directors present, but if there are, they will introduce themselves. Director, Community Service.
Yeah, Eben Phillips, Director Community Services present.
Okay. And I see Director Planning.
Malvi Boyd.
Thank you very much. Director Corporate.
Makoma, Director Corporate present, Chair.
Thank you very much, Director. I see Acting Director David Winners is also present. Yes, just show his hand. And I see our interpreter, Mr. Bart is also present. Thank you very much. And let me welcome all other officials that are also. Mr. Diba of Communication is also present. Thank you very much. I just want to check, are there any members now? Ms. Namhla. Welcome, Ms. Namhla. Thank you very much. Is there any members of Audit Committee present? If none, let's move to item 2.7. Members of the public, they cannot confirm, but strongly believe that there was a link that was sent on Facebook and on WhatsApp, so I believe the public will listen to your social media. Thank you very much. Let's go straight to point number 3, noting of provision of code of conduct for councillors and declaration of interest. Committee members, is there anyone who would like to declare any interest on the items below?
No.
I see. Manaki, do you want to declare interest or?
No, my dear, I'm just to say I'm present.
Thank you very much, Mamanaki. We've just started, Mamanaki. We were just introducing the officials that are present. Thank you very much. We're welcome to this meeting. So there's no councillor that would like to declare declare interest. So we go straight to point number 4, which is presentation. We don't have any presentation on this meeting. We go straight to point number 5, confirmation of the minutes. If you read the minutes on page, starting from page 5, is there any committee member for us to know the minutes? Director Technical Service.
Chairperson, on page 6, I note that under officials present, I see only 2 of the technical services officials were present, were reflecting there. That's the manager PMU as well as Mr. Lawrence, manager electrotechnical services. But both Mr. Royden Perry, manager water and sewer, as well as Sean Marie were also present. So I think for correctness, we need to just ensure that those 2 names reflect there as well. Under 2.5, officials present. Thank you, Chairperson.
It's Mr. Royden Perry and Mr. Sean Marie.
Yeah, that's correct,
Okay,
Chairperson.
Okay, no, thank you very much. I think I'll ask the administration just to quickly do some amendments. Director, do you want to make a follow-up on the minutes?
No, Chairperson. None.
Okay. Okay.
Maybe just some feedback, Chairperson.
No, I think you can just put it on the matter rising. If there are anything that is concerning the minutes.
Yes.
So, Councillor Lavey, you have raised your hand.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I was going to ask that we can proceed because the minutes are a true reflection of what happened at our last meeting. And then, as you said, we
Thank you
can
very
go
much.
through the matters arising and deal with it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Councillor Lavey. Is there any other councillor who would like to second that? Thank you, Councillor Drezu. Let's go to item point number 6, matter rising from the previous minutes. Councillors, are there any matter rising from the previous minutes? Councillor Lavey, I see you have raised your hand.
Yes, thank you, Chair. I just want to I just want to find out if you managed to go do that site visit at point 1307/2020 report on poor access challenges to water. If you managed with the director to go have a look at that. I know it was locked down, so it was difficult to do all the site inspections. But I just want to find out what at point B there, or what if there's any feedback on that, because I know that was a serious concern to us about the access to water and sewer bulk infrastructure. Thank you, Chair. You know where I'm talking about, ne? On B of the minutes at the bottom, the last item. Yeah, it speaks about a site visit to be arranged.
Okay. I see Director, you have raised your hand. Director Technical. Over to you.
Yes, Chairperson, that is the one I wanted to provide some feedback on. Chairperson, we did arrange site visits for last week, but due to circumstances beyond our control, we couldn't go out. So what we've arranged, and we couldn't do the site visits this week due to Section 80s, but we're either trying for late next week or early in the following week. The site visits will not only be to sites that have challenges with regards to security and to access, but also to visit capital projects. So either it'll happen late next week, Thursday or Friday, or first thing in the new week. And then that point B, with regards to the report to council, it will be provided once we've done the site visit. Thanks, Chairperson.
Oh, thank you very much, Director, for clarifying it. I was also going to clarify it, Councillor Lavey. In the last 2 to 3 weeks, there have been lots of site visits. The mayor and the MM also is also be going around to the wards and having site visit and all other directorate. And I've also said that at least after this Section 80, we will have to arrange a site visit so that we don't confuse the issues. Thank you very much, Councillor Lavey, for raising that. Is there any other matter, councillors, on the matter rising? If none, let's move to point number 7. Let's go straight to point number 7.1, the report on municipality fleet, August 2020, which is on page 12. Director, could you take us through quickly, just to summarize, or Jack?
I'll take you through, Chairperson. Chairperson, this is a report that we've been bringing over the last 2 to 3 meetings. It's a fairly new report, but it provides information about things that that we should be noting as a committee. It talks about the maintenance cost for the fleet as well as the fuel. And we're starting to take cognizance of the fact that we need to be monitoring these costs. You can see on page 12 of your agenda that the costs during lockdown for the months of April as well as May. You can see the table on page 12. The cost for maintenance during those months was fairly low. If you add the two costs together, it's only 58,000. But the maintenance costs for the two main departments, that's the roads department as well as the solid waste departments, are increasing as the lockdown has been lifted. And our total cost for maintenance for the months of June, July, and August have reached almost R1 million. Also, the fuel costs are something that we're starting to take more cognizance of. We've put in place certain measures to monitor the fuel costs. We're actually putting out a fuel tender. We're sitting during the course of this current week to try and finalize that fuel tender so we can put more control measures in place. You can see our fuel costs, what they were during the months of April, May, June, July, and August. So it gives you an indication of how much the municipality is spending over the last few months. You can also see on page 14 of the report, we're also putting in place what we think is going to have the greatest impact on the fleet, and that is the tracker system. And we're also sitting to have with a tender, a bid specification committee to put out a tender to put trackers into the vehicles. This will monitor the behavior of the drivers. It'll have a GPS tracking so that we know where the vehicles that the municipality own are. It'll tell us who's driving the vehicle, and it'll give us information about what the driver is doing. For example, what speeds he's driving at, if he's braking badly, if he's abusing the vehicle. So that sort of information we'll be able to monitor and be able to manage our fleet better. So that's the purpose of the report, Councillor. I think it's fairly self-explanatory. Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, before I move off, I just want to acknowledge Mr. Marie has joined us in the meeting. Thank you, Chairperson.
No, thank you very much, Director. The reason I'm asking you just to give a little bit of background is that some of the community members who are listening doesn't even have agendas in front of them. So at least they could, when it makes a sense, when you start just giving us a briefly. Just to say one or two words, Director, in terms of we need to reduce a really serious problem that we need to reduce in terms of our money that we spend on fuel. Because if you check June, July, August, we spend about 1.6 million in terms of fuel for the municipality. That's I believe that's too much money. So I welcome your assistance that you will be trying to put your driver's behavior check, your GPS tracking. So I believe that will assist a lot, because really we need to really start checking that how best we try and save in terms of fuel. And also I want us to check, Director, and just elaborate more in terms of maintenance. Why are we spending, for instance, a month in terms of maintenance, 172,000? Is it purchasing of equipment for our workshop, or is it outside expenditure that we spend on service providers? Can you just also elaborate on that? Councillor Vormeras, I see you raise your hand.
Chairperson, thank you very much, Chair. Now, I just want to welcome what the Director have just said about the trackers that are going to be installed into the municipal vehicles. Where I'm staying, I see that there's a lot of abuse of these vehicles. People that I don't know if they are supposed to be on standby, but they will drive around, pick up their kids at school and drop them off at school and a lot of these things. So I think that way we will also save on petrol, because there is now going to be control over. And then they will stop abusing the vehicles of the municipality. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Councillor Vermas. Director, over to you.
Yes, Chairperson. I just want to, Chairperson, to encourage Councillor, when she noticed some of these activities, she needs to report either to the municipal manager or to the relevant director that some of these things are happening, so that we can take the necessary action. I think sometimes it's difficult, so that it's difficult with us not knowing exactly what is happening. So I think that's why we're putting these measures in place. If there's something or information that's available, please councillors, make the information available so that we can take the necessary action. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Councillor Salazar and Councillor Lavey.
Ungakuqala ngemember yakho yekomiti ndawuthetha emva kwaliveli.
Councillor Lavey.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I just want to find out, in terms of the implementation of this, what is the time frame for this? Has it been budgeted for? Must it still be budgeted for? Is it something that needs to be done during the adjustment budget? I just want to find out what the time frames are to implement this. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Salasa.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. Chairman, owami umbuzo mncinci. Le report yi-report ye-department nge-department. Nxa izawucontrolwa kula department iphuma kuyo yaka technical service. Bazawukwazi no-director ukucontrola ezinye i-department ezabanye abasebenzi. Ngoba le information ye-department zonke, including ku-community service, ku-finance, zonke ziphuma pha. So nxa beza i-manager, bazawukwazi umanager na zonke for eza department. Question yami yokuqala.
Chairperson, mine is just little. My first question is that seemingly these reports are from different departments. So will the director be able of technical be able to control all of these reports, because others are coming from finance and others are coming from community services? That's my first question.
Yes, me talk question. Kandijonga kwezi report. Ufinance imali yakhe inkulu kakhulu, iyabonakala usuka pha kuJuly uzotsho kuAugust ngo-23,000. Ingabe uneemoto ezininzi yena ezisebenzayo ufinance, lento imali yakhe ingaka? Imali yantoni lingaka? Ziimoto ezingaphi ezizophuke ngolu hlobo?
Chairperson, my second question is that the Department of Finance, do they have such a lot of vehicles that they must be spending such a lot of money? Because we can see that they've got big chunks like 23 million and stuff. So how many vehicles do they have? Do they have more than the other departments?
Ndike ngokokugqibela ke ngokuthe mna ngokokwam ndigqibele apha sinabo mechanic e-workshop. Andiyazi noba imali eparts, and I think le nto buke wayibuza ingaba imali eparts le ingaka, ngoba koo-mechanic bona sinabo. Le nto ayikho kuba ndiyafuna ukuthi le nto ayikho kubasebenzi. Something wrong eyenziwayo qha nxa kukho iproblem siwabalekela kubasebenzi. Ayinanto nakwenza naku-abhuzwa kweemoto le nto. Inento ekhona phaa engahambi kakuhle. You can't imali yeparts ibe ngaka, kodwa sinabo abantu esibabhatalayo qho ngenyanga for ukhenika. Ndicela siklarifywe nje kozo zinto, man Chairperson. I think usoyibuzile ezinye. Inkosi.
Chairperson, then lastly, something is not right here somewhere, and then the blame goes to the employees. What is this lot of money on the parks? Because we do have some mechanics at the workshop that are supposed to be working on these vehicles and to be saving some finances. So what is this huge amount of money on the parks? Thank you. That's my last one.
Thank you very much. Director Technical, can you respond, please?
Thanks, Chairperson. I will answer as best I can. The first one was with regards to timeframes for the tender for the trackers. Like I explained, we've got a bid specification committee that's going to sit this week. It's sat once already to evaluate the tender. We just needed to make some small changes. I think it's important that we get the tender document correct if we want the right service provider. So it's sat once already. It's going to sit again this week. And then the process from the time that it's advertised normally takes about 3 months. I would say if we want to be safe, it will be at least 3 months before some sort of tender is likely to be awarded. In terms of the budget, Councillor Lavelle Davis, we were under pressure last year to at the end of the financial year in terms of having money to spend on particular new things in terms of the budget. However, the tracker system was so critical because we needed to look for things that were or items or innovative solutions to try and improve our expenditure. Things that were going to result in savings on budgets. And we looked at this, and we saw this as a quick win for the municipality in terms of savings that could be received both from a repairs and maintenance point of view, but also from a fuel point of view. So we have put a budget on the budget for this financial year, or we have put funds on the budget for this financial year. However, we put a limited amount of funds, and we have a mechanism which we have in which we're going to implement it, but I don't want to provide too much information in this open forum. I can provide that information to Councillor as to how we intend to do it after the meeting, because we want to try and limit our costs in terms of the implementation. Councillor Salazi, I hope I understood your question correctly. How are we going to manage the vehicles from all directorates? The way vehicles are managed at the moment is that each directorate and each director needs to manage the fleet. They are actually responsible for the fleet that is within their directorate. So if, for example, the waste truck, there's a problem with the waste truck, or there's mismanagement of that waste truck, the director that is that particular waste truck falls under will be responsible for the for whatever action is required should it be misused. So that is the mechanism that we'll use. So if we have a tracking system, for example, we'll give each of the directors access to that system, and when there is misuse, the alerts of the misuse that is taking place of that vehicle will go to myself as the director, to the manager in charge of fleet, as well as to the director responsible, as well as the manager. So there will be various people who will be aware of what is happening in terms of abuse. Why is finance using, Chairperson, money under fleet management? I'm looking at page 12 where we're looking at maintenance costs. I don't see any cost under maintenance for finance. So I don't know if Councillor Salazi wants to direct me to that place where finance is using.
I think I was talking about.
Sorry,
the fuel.
Chairperson. About the fuel.
I think he was talking about the fuel.
Okay. The amount that they're using, the grand total for the months, if you look at table number 4 on page 13, Chairperson, the grand total for finance is 8,000 Rand for the month of June. July was 7,000 Rand and August was 7,000 Rand, which comes to a grand total of 23,000 Rand. And you probably find that the reason why they're using that amount of fuel is because they have a number of vehicles that do water meter readings. So that is the reason why they may be using that amount of fuel. But it's very easy to get a breakdown of why they're using fuel and where they're using that fuel. We have a record from the bank that gives us an indication of where fuel has been used. So we have details of that information. There was one last question, whether we have the necessary expertise and skills within the department to be able to repair vehicles. Yes, we do have skills to be able to work on vehicles and to repair vehicles. But the number of skills that we have is very limited, and there are things in many cases which are specialized, which can't be done within the directorate. There are also certain vehicles, for example, if you've got a new vehicle, that vehicle is still under a warranty or under a maintenance plan, that vehicle will have to go to the supplier in order for it to be repaired and for us to still maintain the warranty on that vehicle. So there are instances where there's specialized work and vehicles that are done under warranty, that work will have to be done by a supplier. So yes, Chairperson, that's where we stand at the moment. Thank you, Chairperson.
No, thank you very much, Director. I think, Director, we should not be afraid. If going forward, if we need to budget for fleet we need to budget for fleet. We must not be afraid now of not budgeting for fleet. If you check in terms of our fleet, your bakkies, your truck, the state of them, you'll see that, yes, this state of this is not roadworthy. So really, if we need to budget for new fleet, we must budget for new fleet. Because really, the state of our vehicles and municipality vehicles, I think we are the only municipality in the Garden Road that is having a bad state of the cars. We cannot be spending lots of money in terms of maintaining the old cars. Some of them, the trucks, some of them who are more than 10 years old, 5 years. If you check in the national parliament or anywhere, the ministers, they drive the vehicle only until 100 Ks. Then after that, that's not roadworthy. So really, if we need to budget for cars and need to budget for new fleet, we must budget for new fleet so that we don't find ourselves spending a lot of money fixing cars that has more than 10 years or 9 years, so that are very old, that have driven more than 500 kilometers, 500 million kilometers. So really, Director, me and you are going to sit and check how best can we try and resolve and budget for this. I see Councillor LaVey, you have raised your hand.
You know, Che, I'm laughing so nicely now. It's like you are speaking exactly what's on my mind. You know, you get a municipal vehicle with like 300,000 on the clock, you know, which is unheard of, you know. And so I agree with you, and I just want to ask that we can just expedite. I know it's a report from the MM, but if we can just expedite the whole process so that we can get this going, because I agree with you, Chair, this is fantastic. It's been coming on for years now, and I'm glad that we finally got, you know, we're moving in the right direction and we're going to have this fleet system sorted out. So thank you, Chair. That's all I wanted to say on this item.
No, thank you very much, Councillor LaVey. I think I'll ask the Director just to have us, in terms of the fleet, just to say that this truck is more than 300 kilometers or more than 1 million kilometers. So I think in the next, we're going to need that report. So that in terms of planning, in terms of our acumen, in terms of trying to check really is this vehicle roadworthy. Because we cannot have a vehicle that is being used each and every day that is more than 500,000 kilometers. So thank you very much. Can we move to the next item? Committee members, can we go with the recommendation? Sorry.
Yes, Chair. Yes, Chair, please.
Yes, Chairperson.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you very much. Is 7.2, which is on page 15. It's a report on all capital and MIG projects. Director, over to Councillor LaVey. I see you have raised your hand.
Chair, I think after the Director, I'll ask my question. Thank you. And then I'll ask it afterwards. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Director, can you take us through the report on all capital and MIG projects, please?
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm going to try and put the report up on the screen. I'm just looking for what page it's on. It's on page 15. I think for the purpose of the report, yes, for the purpose of what we want to achieve today, having the report up on the screen will assist, because there are some nice pictures that give us an indication of where the projects are. I think the saying that a picture tells 1,000 words, we can write all the words that we want on the paper, but to see the actual picture will give councillors an indication of where the project actually is, so that, you know, councillors can actually see for themselves where the projects are. The first project, councillors, I think we're just going to go straight through to the projects on page 15. The first project is the upgrading of gravel roads. I think this one has always been a controversial project. The first road I've got, if you look at the bottom of page 15 in the middle column, column 3, it talks to the different names of projects. You've got Bosbo Street, which is 84% complete already. You've got Reenendaal Murray Street in Reenendaal, which is 89% complete. Pine Street at Reenendaal also, which is 79% complete. Then you've also got 2 other streets in Tengalani Street, which is 63% complete, as well as Mamakoti Street, which is 13% complete. I know the question that's going to be asked about Bali Street. I know I spoke to, we went out there and we had a look, and there's a concern about the current state of that road. I've spoken to Mr. Marie today, and he said to me that the contractor is on site at the moment. And Mr. Marie will give us an update once I'm finished, just to advise. But there is some progress there, so that we can start to get the road built now, so that the community can have access. But councillors, I think you can see that the gravel roads project is actually starting to bear some fruits. You can see Bosbo Street in Karatra. There's 2 pictures of Bosbo Street there. There's actually some progress, and we're actually starting to see some tarred roads. Then we've got in Tingalani Street, we can see some construction happening. Some of the pictures might not be the actual current state. Some of the projects have actually moved on since we've taken some of these pictures, so they've actually advanced a little bit. You can see Bali Street, that was when they were excavating. I think they've excavated to a much further point than that, and much deeper. So you can see Murray Street, they've started to put in the paving blocks. So there's progress there in Murray Street as well. The figure number 7 is actually Murray Street, Sean. It's not Bali Street. Figure 8 is Mamakoti Street. So you can see that there's progress on the gravel roads project. The next one is Grey Street. I think that is, I'll ask Sean to update us on the Bali one. Unless, Sean, you wanna update us now on Bali Street quickly?
I've got thank you, Director, and thank you, Chairperson. I've got a mini update on all of the roads, gravel roads. Following last week's the weekend's rain, we had to make small changes to the program because of the effects of the rain. So, councillors, this is just a little bit of additional context on the pictures and on the reports there. I think of importance is Mamakoti and Bali Street, because they are linked together in terms of the same construction team. So we started with the roadbed in Mamakoti. In other words, we started to dig out, and we started on Bali Street to dig out, as you can see in the pictures. And we were going to construct them simultaneously, but because of the impending rain, what has happened now is for this week, the contractor is going to finish all of the gravel road in Bali Street first for half of the road and not dig any more in Mamakoti. Otherwise, we'll sit in the same mud that we sat with in Bali Street that we sat with last week and the week before. So for the rest of this week, Mamakoti will basically stand still. Bali Street will catch up. We'll move over to Mamakoti, do the gravel road, gravel works there off, and then move back and do them leapfrog 1, 1, 1, 1, so that we don't sit in a mud bath. Because not only does it negatively affect the residents, but it also pushes the construction program back. Every time an excavated road gets wet, that causes more backlogs and delays. So all of the other works is carrying on. On Tingalani Street, the paving will start as soon as the curbing is finished. That is the only thing. So the curbing and that is carrying on now, and once it's done, the gravel layer will go up and then the paving will start. So that's how the two are linked. And all of the other streets are in the same position as on the pictures. It is just now finishing off and getting the last bits done. So that's where we are now, Council.
Okay, Chairperson, I think we're just going to continue. This is quite a long report, so I'm going to go through it. If I'm going too fast, please ask to slow down. Then we've got Grey Street. As you can see,
Hold on,
there's
Director.
yes,
Hold on.
yes, Chairperson.
I think let's finish with first one, upgrading of gravel roads. Then we allow councillors quickly just to chip in, and then we go to the next one. Councillor Lavey, you have raised your hands. Councillor Vermeras. Then is Councillor Chokolo, is the Chief of Claudine Kraus.
Chair, no, it's fine. No, it's fine. The report is quite self-explanatory, but I've got another question related to MIG, which I will ask later on, but it's fine, Chair. I'll put my hand down for now. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Councillor Vermeras.
Chair, the same for me. My question is only later on in the report on page 24 and 5. So I will also take my hand, and when the director is finished with that part, then I will ask my questions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Chokolo.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mine is just on the Ntingilane Road. Chair, I do want to raise it up front that I'm very much disappointed in the pace of how this project has been going on. If you remember, the first timeline was in December last year. Then it was moved to, I think, 17th of January, and then I don't know till when now it's being moved. But I've also listened. If you look at the figure there, the figure 4. I liked when the director infrastructure was saying the pictures that we see there now have changed. And I also want to say that figure 4 have changed for the worse now. From what you see there, it's much better than what you can see now after the rains. And I'm telling you now, Chairperson, the deterioration in that is caused by the delay that I'm not sure whether it's a contractor or whom. But this road was supposed to be finished, let's say, with the second postponement that they had in January, early this year. So I'm very much disappointed at the pace at how this project has been going on, Chair. But I just wanted to raise that. If you can come here now, that surface, it was a nice surface, but it's in a bad state now because of the rain. And it's going to happen because it's going to rain again and it's going to deteriorate. So I'm not sure where the paving will be put on now, whereas the lower surface has gone with the water. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you very much, Councillor Kraus. And then Councillor Nguyesu.
Yeah, thank you very much. Councillor Matika is Councillor Tsengwa, and I'm connected on Councillor Kraut's phone.
Okay.
Thank you very much for the
Noted,
opportunity. Good afternoon, everyone. You know, Councillor Matika, I think I must follow suit what Councillor Chokoro is raising. I'm very disappointed here. This TWT is compromising us big time.
GM.
Okay. Thank you, Councillor Matika. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now? Thank you.
Okay.
You know, Councillor Matika is the ward councillor for 8. I'm quite concerned. I've listened to what the director just reported on now. It's quite disappointing, Chair, I must say. It's quite disappointing where our people, I think those people, but I'm going to speak on Bali particularly, to be specific. I mean, we were told that Bali Street by now, in terms of the previous program which was rolled out, it's supposed to be done. And the frustration which was sitting with there, people are not even able to access their entrances. I mean, they are not even able to get to their entrances. Now, what I basically wanted to understand today from the director as well as the manager is to what is the plan moving forward? And I've listened that those people now are currently working at Bali Street. They are there for today because, I mean, we've got the Section 80 meeting and they know for a fact that we are going to raise this issue. Tomorrow they might not be there. What is the plan in place in terms of mitigating that particular problem? because it can't be correct now. If my memory serves me very well, it's about 3, 4 months, 5 months, if I'm not mistaken, that people are not able. And then the second issue which I want to raise, when those people are not happy, they are not calling any director, they are going to call the ward councillor. They are going to, swear at ward councillor, you know? So I just wanted to understand, how long are they going to take to work at Bali Street? Those people are going to be there on a daily basis, or what is going to happen? Let me ask my second question around the Tony September director. Do we have any specific date as to when are they going to start the Tony September? In terms of the program, they're supposed to be there now. You know, I wanted to understand, director, and otherwise I must also, once again, I'm not going to accept any excuse about COVID. I'm not going to take that one today, that we are coming from COVID and so on and so forth. I wanted just to understand, director, otherwise I must say once again that I'm very, very disappointed. I want to fully agree with Councillor Chokolo. And the third thing which I want to ask, in fact, let me stop there. I'll come back after the directors have responded to my concern. But I must say, I'm disappointed big time. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Deputy Mayor. Councillor Naizu.
Okay. Trajulung Sintoman Pai, Chonkoria, Tula Street, Concoria, Doyle Street, Doyle Street, and Tula Street, Ward 4. And that's another one call.
Now, thank you, Councillor Naizu. I think it's just maybe it's a typing error. I've also indicated that there's no Tingilan is not in Concordia, Mamakoti is not in Tingilan, and Dotoitoi. Maybe it's a typing error. Director and Sean, over to you.
No, thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I must start by saying that we have tried to manage the contractor as best we can in terms of the requests that we've received from councillors in terms of how we manage the contract. We've explained how the contract was advertised. In terms of the contract was meant to that all roads be done sequentially and not in parallel. And we tried that option, and now we've changed to try and accommodate councillors as best we can in terms of the program. We've always maintained that this is a 3-year program, and we're trying our best to ensure that we fit all projects in as per the requests of the councillors. And we've all the projects that are being implemented and are being managed in terms of the contract. So I hear that in Tangalani Street is not in the condition that are shown in those pictures, but it is part of a normal management of a contract. If the contract or if the road has deteriorated, the contractor will have to repair it at his cost and make sure that the road is up to a standard before he does any paving work on that site. So if there's repairs to be done from rain, that repairs will have to be done at his cost. It'll have to be repaired to the original standard that you see in the picture. So he'll have to make the repairs at his cost. If he needs to claim from his insurance, he has insurance that are covered in terms of his tender document. So in terms of the contract that we have with him, he has to take insurance to make sure that that road is repaired. If he's negligent on his side, he will have to repair it at his own cost. With regards to Bali, I agree that it is unacceptable that it's taken so long, but we cannot deny the fact that COVID has affected us negatively. All organizations. I think we're forgetting very quickly that COVID has been with us for almost 6 or 7 months now, and it's impacted all contractors. Even during the period and I can tell you that during construction, roadworks was not deemed to be essential services. And even when contractors came back, materials on many of these projects, specifically roads projects, was not necessarily available. So it has led to double impacts on these projects. And in a lot of instances, the contractors have got documentation to prove that they have been impacted negatively by these projects. So we did go out with our portfolio chair to Bali Street, and immediately when we saw how bad the road was, we asked for a grader to go out there to ensure that the road is of a drivable state. And now we've instructed the contractor to go back there and to start working on the road. So the contractor is there, he's working on it, and he's going to continue working on that road. I think that is the assurance that we can give in this meeting. Thank you, Chairperson. Hi, Chairperson.
Sorry, the Deputy Mayor, I see the Deputy Mayor as a follow-up. After the Deputy Mayor follow-up, then we go to page 18 to second item, upgrading of Grey Street. Yeah. Thank you.
No, thank you very much, Chair. Chair, let me not, I don't want to waste time by the way on this issue. You know, Director, whether we want to accept it or not, some of the excuses raised here are old news, man. Last Section 8, we were told the same stories. Now, again today, we are hearing the very same stories. And I want to appeal, if those guys are not able to do that particular job, those guys must, you guys as management must engage them. We've got local contractors in the form of PNV, Colorosi, and so on and so forth, who have been doing roads here. That thing is hitting on us, Director, I must say it. Unfortunately, I cannot take it anymore, you know. And I must say it, I want to appeal to you. I'm worried. The next Section 8, we're going to hear the same story. And I just hope I am going to monitor those people. I hope they are not going to work there today and tomorrow they are, we are told that they are busy in Bosbo or they are busy in Tingilan. If my memory serves me very well, if Tingilan, they are almost there for a year now, and there's nothing which has been done there. So, those people, I don't see any hope moving forward. I want to appeal, Director, to you. Unfortunately, I've got nowhere to go. I definitely need to speak to you as a director of the department. Something must be done. And if those people are not able, let's ask those people to stand aside and get other people to do the job. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Deputy Mayor. Let's go, Director, to upgrading of Grey Street. Director, upgrading of Grey Street.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, we're now moving on to Grey Street. When you look at Grey Street, the latest status on Grey Street is Grey Street is divided into 5 blocks. Block 1 of Grey Street is completed at the moment. You can see that is the status of them. Picture number 2 is when they were spraying on the primer for the road. That block 1 is now opened, and they're actually working on block 2 and block 3. That was the areas where they were working in block 1 when they were doing the excavations and layer works. So that is block 1. They're currently working in block 2 and block 3, and block 2 and block 3 should be open in the next 3 weeks. And then you can see on block 1, we haven't put in the final surfacing or the asphalted layer. Once block 2 and block 3 is done, then the asphalted layer will be put on the surface. We've now moved on to number 3, which is the upgrade of the Cbd Sewer, that project. The contractor is now finding. Yes, Chairperson?
I think before you move that one, let's have hand of Councillor Skosana. I think he's the only one who's raising a hand for this one. Then we go to item number 3. Thank you very much. Let's go back to that one. Councillor Skosana, over to you.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you to your team, infrastructure team. Greetings to everyone with the good work that you are doing. Mine will be, that is a proposal that I want to share, Chair, to you, to the director, that can this contractor now stop there by locked in and start paving? Because I'm going to get worried if they're going to continue digging up until the back of ShopRite. Because ShopRite is the peak where our traffic is very busy, and it's going to be season now. It's going to be November now soon, and we can't have that road closed while the taxi drivers are using that road and everyone is using that road. It's like you're costing that place is too busy. Can't they start next year there? Because definitely now October, November is the closing season for contractors. Can't they then start again now paving in front of the Rex Hotel up to lock-in? It's just a proposal. Thanks, sir.
Oh, no, thank you very much, Councillor Skosana. I've heard your proposal. But the Director, Praveen, can you answer?
Chairperson? Yes, there is some provision in the tender document to look at how we deal with the season. The contractor is going to make provision for during the season. Yeah, there'll be no excavation during the season period, but at the next Section 80, we'll provide more information. We're busy finalizing those plans with the contractor, but in the document there is some sort of provision for us in terms of how we deal with the season. We understand that that is a very important area for the municipality. It has the taxi rank, but it's also part of the tourism route. So we are aware of it and we are planning around it. Thanks, Chairperson.
Oh, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let's go to point number 3. Upgrading of CBD Sewer Phase 1.
Thanks, Chairperson. That's the CBD Sewer. You can see that there's been some progress there now. The actual pipe work is completed. That's the K-zone. The contractor is now finally working to his full potential. We can see some progress. This is the manholes that were constructed in Waterfront Drive. This is the actual K-zone that is built. You can see it's actually 6 to 7 meters below the ground. There's quite a bit of pipe work. You can see the depth of the excavation. It's between 6 to 8 meters deep along Union Street. So there's quite a bit of work that's being done there. We're hoping that this project will be finished before the end of December. The next project is the upgrade of the CBD water articulation phase 1. So that's all the water pipes that are being replaced. You'll see that a lot of the roads are being repaired. You can see there's a lot of pipes. You can see these are the new pipes that are being replaced. The project is divided into 2 parts. It's phase 1 of the CBD pipe replacement. That project is coming to an end now. It should be finished fairly shortly. We're basically doing the snags on that project. Phase 2 of the project has just started, and that's the pipe replacement above the CBD, above the N2, as well as the Costa Sada area. You can see some of the pictures of the work that's being undertaken in that area. You can see a lot of the patching work and road repairs are being done, so the CBD is starting to look a little bit better as well in terms of road repairs and patching. Chairperson, you seem to... Are you convinced that we are repairing the roads, hey? Then it's north and northeast. This is the new reservoir that we're constructing, as well as the pump station. This is the infrastructure that's required in order for us for the Haderfilet development to continue. You can see it's a massive reservoir that we're constructing. We'll visit this as part of our site visit. It's quite an achievement. We've built a reservoir. We're now moving on to the pump station, which will be constructed. One of the things that we are probably going to not do is, due to the vandalism, we're probably not going to be installing some of the infrastructure due to the danger of it being vandalized. Neisner Inlet Works, if you look at this is some of the problems that we're experiencing at the sewer treatment works or the wastewater treatment works, is that a lot of, for example, rags and undesirable items are entering the wastewater treatment works, which is affecting the functioning of the plant, which causes it to become clogged up. You can see this is the infrastructure that has been purchased to screen out. So basically it acts as a big mesh, which screens out all the undesirables or things that are going to clog up the wastewater treatment works. So this is the equipment that has been purchased. So all the effluent that reaches the wastewater treatment works is now processed through this equipment. It's now been installed, and it's functioning at 50%. We need to upgrade some of our infrastructure in terms of water so that both these screens can function. So it's going to improve our wastewater treatment works functioning, as well as improving the effluent that goes out into the estuary. Upgrade of water reticulation in Hornley. This project, at the time that this report was written, the award was delayed, but it's now been awarded. I'm not sure if that was councillor's question, but what has now happened is the upgrade of the water reticulation in Hornley has been awarded, and the contractor is working on site. I know we've been experiencing some problems, but those problems that we're experiencing are teething problems. The information that we have about what's happening on site is not always as accurate as we'd like it to be, because there aren't drawings and information about exactly what is happening on site. So we've had to improvise and gather the information as we go along on the project, and that's why we've experienced some problems. But we've been very hands-on, and we've tried to solve all of the problems related to this. You can see some of the work that's being done. We're excavating and we're removing some of the old pipes, and we're installing new pipes. Upgrade of Hornley Sewer Articulation. This says that the award has been delayed, but it's now been finally awarded. So we're expecting the contractor on site shortly as well. Okay, so the contractor is on site already. In terms of professional services tender, that tender is still with the BAC, and we're hoping that within the next week it will be awarded. The EOI tender, that's for small contractors, that hasn't been awarded yet. We're hoping that that one will be awarded shortly. The next one, which is the big one, Charlesford upgrade and refurbishment of Charlesford and Eastford pump stations. This is one of the bigger projects. As you can see, there's some good progress on site. Like I'm saying, pictures allow us to see exactly what's happening. You can see there's some good progress on site. The first two pictures are Charlesford. The second two are Eastford. We've got, yes, Charlie, Chairperson. Charlie's been eating all the cake, all Neisner's chocolate and cake, you know. So this is where all the money is going. Hopefully, when we go to see during our site visit next week, we'll be able to. There's been some significant progress. So figure number 7 is what it looked like initially, and then figure number 8 is with the building being constructed, and figure number 10 is where the second pump station is being constructed. So you can see there's been some serious progress. There's a lot of money being spent, and there is definitely progress. Wastewater treatment works, conversion of SBR to nutrient plant. Remember, we did the civil works. This is back to the wastewater treatment works. So remember, we're upgrading the wastewater treatment works. The civil works, figure number 12, we originally built that in the previous financial year. Now we're doing the mechanical electrical works. We've also upgraded, as part of the project, some of the buildings on site. Those buildings are now completed so that staff can operate in terms of the Occupational Health and Safety Act. So there is some progress there as well. The sidewalks, I know that councillors have got some nice.
Thank you very much. I see the hands of Councillor Vormaras, and then Councillor Lavey. You also wanted to say something?
So, Chair, I think let Councillor Vormaras go. Thank you.
Councillor Vormaras and Councillor Chokolo.
Thank you. Chairperson, I don't know where to start, but I want to speak on this only. Let me just get there. This upgrade of the only water reticulation. I've heard the the director talking about teething problems, but hey, these teething problems, I don't know. They must really do something drastic about that if it is still teething problems. This contractor, Start Time Trading, that's the contractor's name. He is working in the street where I'm staying, in Calendar Street. But I must say, Chair, I am not a very happy resident currently. You know, this contractor dig up trenches in the road. I know they must do it, and we as a community are going to benefit out of this project. But what they do when they close that trench, they don't close it properly. I know it's only temporary, but at least they can close the trench to the level of the existing road. I did complain to the director, I think a week or two ago. Then they start doing it. But why must we first complain and then they do the stuff what they are supposed to do from the beginning? The other thing is the majority of the people in the streets have cars. We've got driveways. What they are doing, they don't check where they put those pipes. They've put the pipe, I'm only going to speak for myself. They put the pipe in the middle of my driveway. Then my husband had to go and complain to this contractor, but you can see there's a garage door and there's a car parked and the car must get in and out. So why can't you just move it? Small things like that, director, really. I don't think it's for us every time to come and complain to you. This contractor, I see the amount for this contract is 8 million. So I think then he must come to the party and he must do a decent job. I've taken photos in front of my house and also for the neighbor's house. And as you said previously, they've got insurance for these things. I expect them when they are finished and done with this, that is going to be probably next year, then they must leave it in the same condition. If they've dug up my paving, I want my paving back and I want everything back the way that they have got it when they first started to work. The other frustrating thing, Chairperson, is they will just cut off the water without notification. The one moment you've got water in your tap, the next moment there's nothing, without any warning. That is currently the biggest frustration. So I don't know how they are working and why they can't just come and inform us that the water is going to be off for 2 hours or for 1 hour, fill up a pot or something. And then we as residents are left without water. So I would also like, as the director has said, and you also, Chairperson, there's going to be site visits. I think you must speed up your site visit to Calendar Street and to Frederick Street, where they are currently working, so that you can see how they are conducting their business. And I think for this amount, the value of this amount of 8 million, they can do a little bit better. The other thing, and I'm going to end off now, Chairperson, is that I don't know why the contractor has bought a lot of sand and gravel. It was placed here, a big pile was placed in front of the parkie, just opposite my house. People just come with their wheelbarrows and they will just put, the wheelbarrow will be full of that and then they will just go to their respective houses. So whilst the contractor is not using it at the moment. So I think there is nothing left of that, and I don't think the contractor has used that for what he has bought it for. So Chair, I will stop there, but I really think with the help of the director, he must please speak to this contractor, that they must really give us the work that they are currently do. I'm not an engineer, I won't say it's substandard, but on face value, what I see, how they are conducting their work, I don't think that is the way it's supposed to be done. Chair, I will stop there for now. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Chair, it's me, Mos.
Thank you very much, Councillor Chokolo. Over to you.
Thanks, Chair. Just now, while we're talking about these contractors, I just want to understand, in their contracts, is there anything that's built into their contracts talking about penalties? And if there's any, what actually do we penalize them for normally? I just wanted to know that. Thanks, Chair.
No, thank you very much. Councillor Lavey, do you still want to say anything?
Chair, my question is a bit different. There's no. I know we didn't have chance this time to discuss beforehand, but there was something that came up on MIG future MIG, and I just wanted to ask, but I think if the councillors can just ask their questions, then I can ask you afterwards the question I want to ask you. It's related to a future MIG project. Thank you.
Now, thank you very much, Director. Over to you. Director,
no, thank you, Chairperson. No, thank you, Chairperson. I hear Councillor Volmarans. In terms of what we're doing at the moment, I think we need to be clear. We are undertaking temporary works. We've had experience now working in both the CBD as well as you see we've done 2 phases of pipe replacements. We've done phase 1 in the CBD, and we're currently doing phase 2, and we are doing Hornley now. Pipe replacement. So from phase 1 to phase 2 to Hornley, we as the Technical Services Department have learned some lessons. And we're using those lessons as the basis for our new projects. And we've learned that us dealing with the project the way we are doing it now in terms of laying temporary lines. And that's what we've done. We've constructed a temporary line on the surface of the road so that we can connect all the customers. And the idea behind it is so that we have the least amount of interruptions to service to the customers or to the residents of the area. In terms of the notifications or us not giving adequate notice, in all the areas where we've worked, we have given notice to advise customers that we are going to be out. I know the areas where in Calendar Street, we issued notices because I signed them to say that the water will be switched off on 3 days. And they would be switched off during working hours. Unfortunately, it's part of the process of upgrading infrastructure. And we asked that the water be switched off on Tuesday, between 8 and 4:30, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday on 2 days, so that we could do the connections from the water meters onto the temporary line. Now, it doesn't make sense. I hear what Councillor is saying. If we do excavations, that we need to make those excavations as neat as possible. But remember that it doesn't make financial sense for us to dig up something and then recompact it and make it as neat as possible if we're going to excavate it again in a short space of time. It also has time implications for the project, because what we want to do is we want to basically test that everything is working in a short space of time and then put in the final pipeline. So we hear you, Councillor. We apologize for the inconvenience that you've experienced. And what we found was, it was not all customers that were without water. It was 1 or 2 customers where they were connected inconsistently with the norm of how the normal connections were done. So what we had to do is, when we, for example, switched off for 2 hours, we had to switch off the entire area in order to be able to reconnect 1 or 2 of those customers. But I always maintain that we have to understand that I know a lot of customers in the CBD, and the CBD phase 1 project went on for a long period of time. But the ultimate goal is to ensure that once the project is done, that the number of breaks that we have in water breaks, water outages, and time without water will be reduced to almost 0 once the project is completed. So that is the ultimate goal that we have as a department, to reduce our water outages and water losses in the area. So we apologize, Councillor, for that. Councillor Lezoko's question was, do we have penalties? Yes, we do have penalties. The penalty clauses specifically are around non-performance or not meeting your target. In this case, the contractor has not failed to meet any of his targets, so we're not in a position to exercise penalties. But we also need to ask the question, if the contractor failed to do something, or if he failed to connect certain customers, for example, we as the client need to provide that customer, that contractor, with base information. And that base information, considering the fact on the history of where we come from as an organization, is not necessarily available. When some of the developments were done many years ago, none of that information is available as to where connections were done, how those connections were done. So this is our opportunity now to keep accurate records of what is being done and where those connections are. So once the project is done, what we do is we prepare as-built drawings. So even if there was something designed in a particular way and something is being changed on site, once the final work has been done on site, we prepare something called as-built drawings. So it tells you exactly what was built on site, and we put those drawings on record in terms of our GIS, exactly what has happened, so that we don't have this problem in the future. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Chair. Let's move. Let's go to the accommodation.
Thank you, Chair.
On page 34.
Sorry, Chair, I need to. Can I ask my question quickly? There's no way to ask this question, but it's related to MIG. I just want to find out, man, in terms of Reenendal, we know that housing is not going to be possible without infrastructure, and I know that there was a MIG application that they were busy with, I know, quite a while back already. I just want to find out how far that application is, because that's going to determine whether Reenendal will benefit from housing in the future. And I know that they were quite advanced when I spoke not too long ago to someone in the department. So I was just wondering, Chair, if you could just give us clarity on that. And then also just ask you maybe if we can have like next time, if it's possible, that we can have something where we look at our future. What are some of our future MIG things that we might want to be done? But as I say, I think the main thing is just the Reenendal progress on the Reenendal MIG application. Thank you, sir.
Oh, thank you very much, Director.
Thank you, Chairperson. I think, Chairperson, when we talk about housing development consists of a number of things. It will consist of roads, water, wastewater, electricity. All of those services are what make up a housing development. And I can tell you, in terms of the roads, we have made an application for MIG, and I think in terms of the sports field as well. So there's been 2 applications made, both for the roads and for the sports field. However, in terms of the water and the sanitation, those applications have been made to the relevant sector department. So we've made those applications to the sector department, plus any other organization that would take our business plan. So we've made a few applications around both the water treatment as well as the sanitation. So we have made applications around that because we are aware of the urgency of providing those services. To date, none of those have been funded. Thank you, Chairperson.
No, thank you very much, Councillor Lavey. I assure you, going forward, I think we will try and check.
Yes, thank you, Chair. Thanks for this.
Thank you very much. Can we go, Director? Electrification. Oh, sorry. Can we go to accommodation? Sorry, committee members, recommendation on page 34. Can we go to recommendation?
Chair, sorry, are we talking about the electricity now?
No, we were still busy with
we're
projects.
talking about this item. Yeah, no, then we're done. Yeah, we can go. We can proceed. Thank you.
Yes. Now, the next item. Thank you. The next item is on page 39. Item 7.3. Report on water losses in the Greater Niger area. Director, over to you.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chairperson, I think we wanted to bring this report to your attention or to the attention of the committee. I think it's something that we've started to focus on as well as a department. We've taken it as seriously as putting it in the scorecard of the director, so that we report on the issue of water losses. Water losses is quite a serious thing for Knysna municipality, considering just how scarce water is as a resource to this municipality. So we've just put together a report to advise this council about the current status of water losses, what causes our water losses. I'm on page 32. If you look at the screen on page, on page 40, the high water losses can be attributed to the poor maintenance of infrastructure. We obviously don't have. We're unable to be able to maintain everything due to the financial constraints. Some of our infrastructure is very old. We've got very different soils. We've got a lot of clay in Knysna, which affects the pipe work that we have in Knysna, causing breaks. We've got a number of damages that occur as a result of contractors. We have also a number of infrastructure, such as we've got corrosion that occurs as a result of seawater that affects some of our footings. But basically, as a municipality, if you look at the water losses, in 2017, 2018, our water losses were sitting at close to 26%. In 2018, 2019, it was reduced to 23%. And in the last financial year, it had been reduced to 19%. There are a number of projects that the municipality has put in place in order for us to try and achieve or try and reduce the water losses. And those water losses, we've discussed some of the projects already. One is the pipe replacement projects that we spoke about under capital projects. That's the one in the CBD, phase 1, phase 2, as well as the Hornley pipe replacement project. We also had the installation of water meters. We had 7,500 water meters which were installed, which now more accurately measures water that is being used by communities, and also meters are installed in areas where there were no water meters previously. Also, we have a data cleansing project which helps us to more accurately bill. So we can see that the water losses are reducing, and our aim as a municipality is to reduce the water losses even further. Chairperson, thank you very much, and we will continue to try and reduce these water losses. Thank you. Chairperson, the report is for noting.
Thank you very much, Councillor LaVey. I see you have raised your hand.
Thank you very much, Chair. There's just one question related to the water meters. I've even had a chat with the ladies at the office. A lot of people are complaining that they can't access, the water, if there's either water leaks or whatever the case might be, but particularly related to the water meters, the correct direct through you, Chair, the direct contact details again, because the numbers that we gave them, people are phoning these numbers. We've even tried in the office to phone a few times, and it doesn't go through to these numbers. So if we can get the correct number for the particular water meter complaints. And then just another one, Chair, just through you, I understand that I think it was in the community services meeting where the Director of Community Services said that they will start having regular meetings initiated by your department, which I think is fantastic, on a Friday. The one issue that we need to bring up in terms of water loss, man, you know that we've just completed the toilet project or the sanitation project by us. And you'll find that now there's a lot of these leaks. I mean, there was one leak, and I think to Pravir that he helped me with that one. But there's a number of cases where we have leaks and issues now that the contractor is gone. And so, you know, when the moment you contact your plumbers at the municipality, they of course are not at liberty to fix that. You know, then you know, they always say it's a different department, etc. They say one says it's housing, one says it's community services, one says it's infrastructure services. So just maybe some clarity on that, Chair. Taking forward through with the director to take to this meeting and make a decision on in terms of how we're going to deal with that. Because as I speak now, there's already 2 toilets that are leaking as I speak now that I've put in complaints about today. So you know, we've got this great, and I commend you for the great decrease in the water losses. But as I say, these are the type of issues that we need to resolve. It has remained unresolved for months and even years already. So, Chair, if we can just get some comments on that, thank you.
Director? Yellow.
Thanks, Chairperson. I was not sure. I can't see any other hands. Sorry.
No other hands.
Yes.
Is there anything you want to add? So then we can move.
Yeah, Chairperson, the issue of the water meters, I think I've reiterated this on a number of occasions, but let me do it again. There is only one number to call, or 2 numbers, when there's a problem with water meters. You call the fire station in your relevant area. The fire station in Sedgefield, or the fire station, the call center, sorry. The call center, during working hours, you call the call center in Knysna and you report to Shane. When in Sedgefield, you call the call center and advise them. Then they will dispatch the relevant people that are dealing with water meters. They will be able to, in the evenings, if you've got a problem, then you'll call the fire station like normal. But those people will be able to assess who the relevant person is to be able to go out. So let's say, for example, when the customer advises the call center that there's a break on the municipal side of the meter, then that person will be able to assess and say, okay, we're going to send out municipal staff. When the customer advises that there's a problem with the meter, then they'll send out, for example, the people that are still assisting us with the water meters. If there's something wrong on the customer side, then they'll advise the customer that the customer must get a plumber to assist them. At the moment, what's happening is anything that the customer deems to be a meter-related issue gets sent to the service provider. And the service provider is becoming very difficult with the municipality because they're getting a number of calls that have nothing to do with them, are not related to water meters. So, councillors, my advice to you is call the call center during working hours in the relevant town, and after hours we call the fire station so that they can direct the community or direct the relevant services to deal with the matter. Thank you, Chairperson. The other issue regarding the toilets, Councillor, I noted your issue. We're working on something with the toilets. We'll have to report on that one. It's not an easy one. I am trying I'm working together with housing so that we can try and first find a solution around that one. Thank you, Chairperson.
No, thank you very much, Councillor LaVey. Is there anything? I see your hand still raised up.
No,
Is there anything else?
Thank you. I'm sorted out, Chair. I just wanted to say that they must just let the staff also know, because if the staff don't know, we have a problem. So they must send that particular information to all the staff, both wherever in Sedgefield, wherever the meters are, all the Knysna, so that the staff also know. Because when you phone the staff and they don't know, that's the problem I'm trying to get at. So if we can get that message to them. Thank you, Chair, but I'm covered with that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Can go to a recommendation on page 41 that we note the report. Can we go to the recommendation on page 41 that we note the report? Councillor Nelson, it's a phone. The next item is no, I didn't hear any councillor saying that we go with the recommendation. Committee members need to speak that so that you can check that we still make a quorum. Can you go with the recommendation?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Councillor Vomaras, are you still part of the meeting? Councillor Choko Mezu, are you still part of the meeting?
Yes.
Oh no, Councillor Mezu is here.
I'm still part of your meeting.
Thank you. Just wanted to check the quorum. We go to 7.4. Electrical Technical Capital Report for September.
Chairperson, can we have a 2-minute body break so that I can just go to the loo quickly before we move on to the next room? 2 minutes.
Finish, eh? By 4 o'clock we must be finished. Let me quickly give you 2 minutes.
Sure, thank you.
Quickly give you 2 minutes. Thank you very much. By 4 o'clock we must be finished, all right. Bali.
Yeah, Tista.
Tini tatu tinggilan. Item 7.4. Director, over to you. Page 50.
Thanks, Chairperson. Chairperson, this is the report on, I just want to go to page 50 quickly, just in case there's anything we want to see. Okay, this is a report on electrotechnical capital projects. The first lot of projects is projects that were capital projects up to the 31st of July. It has the votes that, or what we've spent up to the end of the first month. You can see that our expenditure for the first month was almost zero because the system was still closed and we were busy working on issuing orders and those kinds of things. So the contractors only started working towards the end of the month. So we only started spending towards the end of July. In terms of the 1920 financial year, we have got the electrification projects. You can see there were those projects, Opat and Kolweni. Number of connections there were 65. Those projects are in progress. And Kolweni, there were 24 connections. It's also in progress. We've got a sum of 5 million rand for the electrification of new projects or new houses that are going to be built at Kolweni and Hornley. In terms of 1920, we had 2.160 million that was allocated to the financial year for electrification electrification, you can see there are a number of different areas. Jacques told me that when he was doing the ward numbers, he mixed up Ward 4 and Ward 8. So please, councillors, take note of that. So we've dealt with that. In terms of the new financial year for August 2020, we've got a budget of 3 million rand. These are the wards. It's Ward 1, Ward 3, Ward 4, Ward 7, and Ward 8, where electrification will take place. The manager, Electrotechnical Services, has already had meetings with those councillors to see how that electrification work will take place. In terms of how the electrification or how the projects will be costed, I think it's very important. I've explained, or we've got a explanation of the costing of different electrification connections. So category number 1, if you have no bulk installations, no medium voltage electrification, and you've only got LV. So LV is your reticulation, the electrical infrastructure from the pole to your house. The cost of per connection will be 7,500 rand. If there's MV and LV, then it will be 12,000 rand. But if you need bulk infrastructure, MV and LV, then the cost per connection is 18,000 rand. And I know previously councillors have asked, why is there variance in cost to put up electrification connections in different areas? And this is the reason why. So we wanted to bring this so that councillors understand why there's differences in cost in providing electricity in different areas. The next, we've got Brenton, the capital projects, Brenton Substation. We've got a picture of the current status of that substation. We're basically waiting. We've ordered the boards, the electrification boards and the switchgear that go inside the substation. They've been ordered. It's just a matter of them being delivered. They've been affected by the COVID pandemic. As soon as they're delivered, they will be installed. The next project is the Eastford Substation. That is being upgraded. You can see the pictures there that are shown. Then it's the Hornley-Opard interconnector. That project was completed and is now operational. Then we've got the Bracken Hill streetlights. Councillors are aware of that project. We have advertised that project, and the project is ready to commence. Workshop substation phase 3. We've advertised that project. That project is only planned to start early in the new year. We've got a head start to it, but after we've advertised and we've awarded, the contractor has raised certain concerns. So we're busy dealing with that contractor with regards to the issues around price. Chairperson, the report is for noting.
No, thank you very much. I see there are two hands, Councillor LaVey and Councillor Katie Wilderman. Yes, can I take quickly your two hands, Councillor Katie? Then it's over to you, Councillor LaVey.
Thank you very much, Chair. Director, some time ago I wrote you and asked you, why can the informal settlement in Borsdorp not have electricity? I notice in all the other wards they are getting electricity, and on numerous occasions we've requested for electricity in Borsdorp, Karataro. And you did not come back to me with that answer. You said you would find out what the reason was. Maybe there is someone that could now tell me why the informal settlement in Borsdorp, Karataro, cannot have, some of them are illegal shacks, yes, but they have got no electricity. So maybe you could give me an answer there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor. Sorry for your interruption. Thank you very much, Councillor Wilderman. Councillor LaVey, then we over to Director.
Chair, I just want to just make a correction on page 51. You'll see that it on top it's not Slanger Park. I know it was 1718, is actually Beverly Hills. But if we can just correct it, because it's a public document. So it's actually west of Slanger Park, which is actually Beverly Hills. After the enumeration, we've changed. We specified the area. Before it was just one big area. So if we can just amend that Slanger Park to maybe to west of Slanger Park, or in brackets Beverly Hills, that makes more sense, because it's not Slanger Park itself. We've done quite a number of connections in Slanger Park a few years back. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Councillor Director.
Chairperson, thank you very much. I apologize, Councillor. I remember your email. I remember requesting some information about Karatra is one of those areas where it's on the border of Eskom and the municipality. I remember that if I'm not mistaken, we did respond, but I will do a little bit more investigation. I would rather not respond, but I'm of the opinion that that particular area is in an Eskom area of supply, and that's why we're unable to provide electricity there. But let me get back to you first thing tomorrow morning, and I'll provide you with more information around that. My apologies for if I haven't responded. I will investigate with the manager, electrotechnical services, and provide you with the information first thing tomorrow morning. Councillor Avell, I note what you're saying. I will take it offline just to confirm everything, so that we can just make those changes where required. Thanks, Chairperson.
No, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Councillor Katie?
I'm just saying thank you very much for the opportunity, and thank you, Director.
No, thank you very much, Councillor Katie. I think we'll have to look at that, if there is informal area, so that it can be covered. But we must first check all angles if it really belongs to under the ESCOM. If it belongs under ESCOM, then we need to engage ESCOM, because it's going to create a problem. Other informal areas are electrified. It's the only informal area in Karatra that is not been electrified. So if some of these reports could go out to the public, they're not going to interpret it on the right way. So, and we know we're going to elections. People who are mischievous will try and use it to gain their political scores. Thank you very much. Go to a recommendation which are on page 54. Councillors, can we note the recommendation on page 54?
Chair, we go for it. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. Chair, you must just note it with the corrections made to those items that I mentioned.
Yes, the correction.
Yes, okay.
Corrections. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
We go
Thank you,
straight
Chair.
to 7.5, which is on page 56. 7.5 on page 56, Director. Just 2 minutes. Don't explain 10 minutes, Director, please, man. 2 minutes, just 2 minutes briefly.
Thanks, Chairperson. I think the report is simple and straightforward. Thanks, Chairperson.
Yes,
I think the report is self-explanatory. In terms of general road maintenance, we've done in 2019-20, we had 27,000 square meters. In the current, in that month, when did 13? Okay, we've only just started with the road maintenance. In terms of potholes, we've finally got our material, so we're doing that. Gravel roads, we haven't started blading as yet. Stormwater maintenance, you can see we've already started that. In terms of our expenditure, in terms of the first month, we wouldn't have paid anybody. So our payment will only start in the month of August. In terms of this report, Chairperson, on page, we've also included in terms of our maintenance program, page 63, it shows what our maintenance program is for the department. So what we're going to be doing and where we're going to be doing it. So I think the report is fairly clear, where we're going to be graveling, where we're going to be blading, where we're going to be doing stormwater maintenance, road repairs, as well as gravel road upgrades and each of the wards. So councillors will have that. Thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you very much, Councillor Levy, Councillor Katie.
Yes, Chair, we've been getting a lot of complaints, and you can actually see that the deterioration. I think the stormwater program was quite well done, but you can actually see the road repairs, Chair, are deteriorating rapidly. I mean, I don't only want to talk about Sedgefield, but in other areas as well, where I mean, you can see that you know especially your pothole repairs, your etc. It's really drastically. I mean, you know, service delivery has almost come to a standstill. I want to perhaps ask through you, Chair, to Pravir, what are some of the reasons? Is it because sometimes I get reasons where people say to me, no, we don't work overtime, we don't get overtime, or you know, you have reasons where people say there's no material. You know, what is actually the reason why there is this drag or this ineffectiveness, if I might say it, in terms of our road maintenance? If maybe, Chair, through you, I could just get some understanding of that. Maybe there's a good reason, but we are bombarded with complaints as never before about the condition of our roads. So I just want to get some feedback. Thank you, Chair.
No, thank you very much, Councillor Katie Voderman.
Thank you very much, Chair. Director, supposedly last year in 2019, the stormwater drains were maintained in Swallow Street in Sedgefield. I have just recently sent you a photograph of what has happened now after the rains. And also in the beginning of the year, the stormwater pump and drain at the school entrance in Pitmayfro Street, they came and repaired the pump and everything. After the rains this weekend, I have, as a matter of fact, just sent you some photographs again a couple of minutes ago. You can see the water there that the cars couldn't even come out of their driveways. The suction pumps did come to help get rid of the water there, but I would like to know if anything has been done. Last week after I reported the one in Pitmayfro Street, and we're expecting very, very serious rains from tomorrow over the weekend. So I want to know, these pumps have now been repaired, and why are they still not working? That is my first question. And the second one, I noticed on the stormwater drain program that you'll be working in Ward 2 on the 1st of September to the 11th of September. I'd like to know which stormwater drains will be repaired there. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor Ngayezu. No problem. Okay, thanks, Chairperson. Mani mna ndifuna ubuza mani kakhulu kweli cala le potholes. Eward 4 potholes hayi indlela sihambeki ba. Esisulu Street kuze potholes. Holy Hlahla zi potholes nje indlela kunzima ukumuva because I potholes. Ndiphinde ndiye gravel roads and blading. Siyanida to blade indlela se Ward 4 kakhulu because imeko yazo ibad. Kukho izitrato imoto ezingasangeniyo because of imeko yestrato le sibad kakhulu. Now ndiyafuna uqonda pha kwenzeka ntoni. Ndiye apha umbuzo wami kakhulu kulapha kwisitomoto. Bendirepotile kule mvula benkulu eqolweni beyenze imess. Ukho ntoliki uqala ingathetha ntetho. Hayi khona ntoliki. Dikhona. Fine. Okay. Eqolweni imess beyenzeke pha. Okay.
Okay, Chairperson, mine is just to find out about two things. The first one is the potholes in Ward 4. Sisulu Street and Holy Hlahla Street, the potholes are very bad. It's unbearable even to drive there. And again, also there's a strong need for grading of the roads. The roads are very bad, especially with this issue of stormwater. I have also reported the issue of how the rains have damaged Ekolweni.
Yeah, ngoku into eyenzekayo phaa kukho isimele esibhede because sivalekile sastormwater andiyande qhubekayo izolo bendipha ndabona imeko yapha ibhede. Kuthiwa ngomsi izawunetha ndiyabaza kwenzeka ntoni na.
Also, there's a very bad smell that came out of it. Yes, there is also some patch that has been done. There's some repair, but then they say tomorrow it might rain very, very bad. So, Chairperson, I don't know what can be done. There's a very bad smell that comes from the street.
All amalukwazi izawuthini lathi landa uphayiqolweni sastomota siphayiqolweni pha landa bengena kuyamanzi jabaulu yazi ithini lapha. Thanks.
I would really like to have some clarity on what's going to happen on the Kolweni stormwater, that place that was just flooding with some water. What is going to be happening, Chairperson, especially if we're expecting some rains in the near future? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Director, over to you.
Thanks, Chairperson. I'm here, Chairperson. I'm gathering my thoughts. Yeah, I hear Councillor Lavelle, and maybe I must answer Councillor Lavelle about why there's no why there's an issue with pothole patching together with Councillor Nezo as well, because I think the answer is the same for both councillors. We must understand that, and I don't think we must use COVID as an excuse. But when you go back and you read the lockdown regulations, the lockdown regulations were very clear. And at the time we had Dr. Gratz here. Dr. Gratz implemented the lockdown regulations like Hitler would have, like a Nazi. She was very, very strict about this. She implemented it in such a way that we had to be very careful about how we implemented. So the lockdown regulation said we are not allowed for road works to continue. So the roads team were at home and were working on other activities besides roads, because the lockdown regulation said clearly that you are not allowed to perform any road maintenance activities and road building because they were non-essential activities. So the funds for the months of March, April, May, and I think most of May, the road maintenance team, so the teams that were doing pothole repairs as well as reinstatements. So reinstatements are those activities that where you have a pipe break and we needed to do repairs. Those reinstatements have had a backlog because during those months where roadworks were non-essential activities, work was still continuing in the municipalities. We were still doing pipe repairs. There were still potholes that were appearing during those months. So for those months, for those 3.5 or 4 months, there's a backlog that has built up. In addition to that, when the lockdown was lifted on construction and the roads teams were able to come back.
Director?
Yes. Yes, Chairperson. Yes, Chairperson.
Please not. I'm not interfering or anything, but please, my director, let's go straight. Let's go straight to the point. Let's come up with the solution.
No problem.
So that I don't.
Okay. So what we're suggesting, Chairperson, is that we come with a roadworks program. We're looking at potholes and how we've got at the moment we've got a reinstatement contractor who's doing reinstatements, and we're also looking at what our options are in terms of a pothole replacement, pothole repair program. We're busy investigating it, but it will be driven by the availability of budget and resources in terms of human resources. So that's what we're busy looking at. In terms of Pitmafro Street, we did look at that, Councillor. We did clean, like Councillor is saying, we did do the cleaning, but the pump that she refers to, we were not able to repair. It's something that we can look at. We've looked at refurbishing it to save cost, but it couldn't be saved. So unfortunately, we can't fix it. Ward 4, I've answered the question of streets. Kolweni flooding. If Councillor is talking about the housing project, we need to if we're dealing with housing, we need to deal with it holistically. And if that is, Councillor can give us clarity If it's part of the housing project, we need to deal with the drainage as part of the housing project. We can't deal with it independently. But Councillor can give us more clarity. Thank you, Chair.
A follow-up, Chair, please.
That's why there is a mark as up. Yeah, yes, Councillor Wilderman.
Thank you very much. I'm through you, Chair, to address the director. So you say that the pump has not been fixed, but that is not the residents' problem. It's got to be fixed because that will happen over and over and over again. And this has been going on for the past 12 years. That it's been overflooding into the property of the people across the road. I know you say that it can't be fixed. What are we going to do about it? The doctor that lives opposite the road has said, you even pay for the pump, but can't it just get fixed? They can't carry on like that. So I need to know, what are we going to do about the pump that cannot be fixed? And then you did not answer me on the Swallow Street one, which we repaired last year. Why is that still overflooding? Thank you.
There's 2 pumps. Chairperson, I think I'll take this discussion offline with Councillor Kathy. I will look at the issue of the 2 pumps. I'm not aware of the specific instance of Swallow Street and it being repaired off the top of my head. So I'll take it offline with Councillor. We've written formally to both Councillor and the doctor in question to advise them that in terms of our budget, we didn't have the budget to be able to repair that particular project. And like I've only been here a year, and it's been difficult in terms of financial resources to be able to implement a project there. But Chairperson, we'll take it offline with Councillor for her to advise us. Maybe she needs to add it as one of her ward priorities. Thanks, Chairperson.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor.
Chief?
Mayor?
Number 6, Manfulele Street.
Mayor?
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, I was just listening carefully. I hope that the MM is also still part of this meeting. I was just listening careful to the director when he made references to budget. And also at the same time, he made reference to the fact that for the last 3 months of the financial year 2019-2020, all what we've done was essential work. So there was a lot of this, where it's repairs and maintenance or other operational activities that didn't take place. So we didn't spend that part of the budget. So here's the question to the director and to the MM, whether looking at our September adjustment budget and taking consideration that we didn't spend the money in the last quarter of the previous financial year, the money that was earmarked either for repairs and maintenance or for operational activities, whether we could look at our September adjustment budget to increase the money. Just remember, we didn't spend the money because of COVID-19. To increase the money that we budgeted for in this financial year due to the fact that we didn't spend the money in the previous financial year. It's just a question, and I'm happy to see that the MM's hand is up. MM, praat met mij over maat, alsjeblieft. Thanks, Chair.
MM, I see you raise your hand.
Yes, Chair, thank you. Unfortunately, money not spent in the previous financial year is not carried over to the current financial year. So that money is lost to us, Chair. So if we want to increase any vote in the adjustments budget, we have to find an accompanying saving somewhere else. But these are all matters that we will discuss at the workshop next week, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you very much. MM, your mayor.
Chair, there's a follow-up. No, I'm quite sure you and I are on the same path. It's not a rollover not a rollover issue in this regard. I just believe that we should be very innovative. And now you're talking about going to a workshop, that seeing that we did not spend money last year because of last financial year, because of COVID-19, I believe that we should look at the adjustment budget, whether it's through savings or whether we know that some of these projects are not going to happen due to other reasons, that we discuss that seriously at the adjustment budget. Oh, sorry, at the workshop. But I will speak to you again on that, sir. Thanks. Ons gaan geld ergens kry. Jay, I'm finished, eh?
Chairperson.
Chairperson Obi.
Yes. No. Oh, Buyile, welcome back, Councillor Quinana. Welcome back. Councillor Volderman, I see you raise your hand.
Thank you very much, Chair. If I could just ask the director if they could tell us where they will be repairing the drains then between the 1st of September and the 11th of September in Ward 2. I'd appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, Director.
Chairperson, I'm going to ask Sean to respond. Sean?
Yes, Councillor, I'm going to be sending all councillors a breakdown of the program that I've sent you already, so that you can see exactly where the maintenance will take place for everything on the program. Gravel road, stormwater, potholes, the works. So I'll give you the street names of where we will be working at that time. For all our councillors.
Thank you.
Thank you, Chairperson.
The recommendation on page 57. Can we go to the recommendation on page? We note the report of September, of July. Recommendation. Yes.
Yes, Chairperson. Noted.
Yes, Chair. Yes, let's go.
Can we go to our last item, 7.6, report on vandalism on water and sewer infrastructure, page 64. Director, over to you. Just 2 minutes.
Thanks, Chairperson. I think this is a very important report. I don't want to gloss over it, but I think that we need to, I've shown some pictures here of some of the infrastructure of technical services, Sunridge Reservoir and Pump Station. I know there are councillors here from Hornley that are aware of that situation where the infrastructure was vandalized. You can see the pictures on the screen of the pumps that were vandalized, which if the pumps are vandalized or the pump station is vandalized, we cannot pump water to certain reservoirs, which means that people will be without water. I think it's critical that we understand that our infrastructure needs to be protected. Rainendal pump station, you can see the fence was stolen, and it's being constantly stolen. The cost of replacing the fence was 100,000 Rand. The previous pump station was 25,000 Rand. This is Nutsi Reservoir. You can see the lids are being damaged and vandalized on a regular basis. You can see the cover has been removed from this reservoir and this chamber, which means that people can fall inside, and it will also increase the liability of the municipality. So I think there are a number of things that we need to look at. There are innovative solutions. I heard the mayor using the word innovative. There are things like pepper spray systems, which are connected to your alarm system. So when somebody opens the door to a facility, they get pepper sprayed, updating our fencing, increasing security guards, contracted services, and new to deal with some of these things. and increasing our insurance on our assets. I think these are some of the things that we need to look at. I think the financial implications of us not dealing with some of the issues that we have at the moment can have long-lasting and serious financial implications for the organization, and will also have serious impact on service delivery. So I just wanted to bring that to the attention of the committee. The report is for noting, and also to advise the committee that a proper risk assessment needs to be done of all our facilities. Thank you, Chairperson.
No, thank you very much.
One last thing, Roy wants to add something, Chairperson.
Yes. Chair, I just want to say we've met yesterday with the service provider, and they are busy. Community services, Mr. Stephen Langlands, are busy with a risk assessment. And they go thoroughly through the things. So yeah, they are at the moment currently busy with a risk assessment and reviewing all the risk at the different infrastructure. Thank you.
Chairperson.
Okay, thank you.
The
Yes.
director omitted the vandalism of electrical infrastructure as well.
Yes. Thank you very much. Thanks for reminding us, CB. Director?
Chairperson, I didn't get that. The line is very faint.
It says that you omitted the vandalism on electrification. CB?
Yes, Chairperson. We have brought a report, I think, previously on the vandalism to electricity and electrical infrastructure, I think 2 or 3 meetings ago. So we have brought a report, and we have made the committee aware of that. Thanks, Chairperson.
Okay, CB. Is there something specific you wanted to say? Councillor Lavey?
No, it's fine. Thank you, Chairperson.
Chair, I welcome this report. It's a good report, and I suggest we go with the recommendations. Thank you.
No, thank you very much. The recommendation on page 68. There are 2 recommendations. One, that the content of the report of vandalism and water and sewer infrastructure be noted. 2, it's B, sorry, A and B. B, that the proper risk assessment with costing be done by a suitable company. Can you go with the recommendations?
Yes, Chairperson.
Go for it, Chair.
Sorry, Mayor, I see you have raised your hand. Do you want to add any recommendation?
I just want to make a comment before you close the meeting.
Yes.
So first, your stop. Just before close, I just want to make a comment, please.
Okay. No, thank you very much. We go with the recommendations, which are on page 68. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you very much. We are on page 1.8. The close of the meeting. Before we close the meeting, let me allow the mayor. Maybe there's an urgent information he would like to share. But before the mayor, let me allow the director. Then we allow the mayor. Director, over to you.
Thanks, Chairperson. My apologies. Chairperson, there was one more report on the operations and maintenance of water and sewer for June and August. June to August. My apologies, Chairperson. I'm not sure what has happened. I don't know whether it was lost in the system and it didn't get approved through the CoLab system. So my apologies, Chairperson. We will resubmit that item for the next meeting so that we have that report for the month of June to August for the operations and maintenance of sewer and storm and of water and sewer. Thank you, Chairperson.
Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Mayor. Over to you.
Chairperson, thanks again. Thank you very much. Chair, as a ward councillor, I'm one of those councillors that is complaining a lot about status of roads and manholes and water channels or weed drains, whatever to call it. I'm one of those people that complain a lot. But I think I also need to thank the director and his team when they, under serious pressure, deal with all the concerns raised by councillors. I need to thank them. I want to thank them to the fact that they dealt sufficiently with the main street in town, which I believe was, for me, an eyesore. After our discussions yesterday, they've really done something about it. Hopefully before the end of the week, that road will be brand new. Can't anything. So I just want to thank them. Thank you very much, Chairperson.
No, thank you very much, Councillor Skosana.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Chair. I must also use this opportunity to say thank you to the department. But I also like to know, Chair, I didn't see anything talking about Sakikaya and whomever will be dealing with this installation, because there are still areas that need to be installed in my ward. What is the process now for those areas like Yoshalani, in terms of sound and all that stuff? Is Sakikaya still having a tender with the Nether Municipality? Because
No,
we
thank
can't
you
have
very
an area
much.
which is paying water and another area does not pay water.
No, thank you very much, Councillor Kosana. The last time I checked, it was still on the tender process. But by the next, Director, want to say anything? Director, please, man. Director, you and the mayor, the last.
One minute. No, Chairperson, I just want to say thank you very much to the mayor for the kind words. I think that I will write to my team tomorrow morning and thank them. Thank you, Councillor Skosana, because Councillor Skosana has written a formal email to us thanking us, and we wish to thank you, Councillor Skosana, as well for the email. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much. I will pass the message on to my team. Thank you, councillors.
Did you buy Councillor Skosana a lunch, or what's happening? No, thank you very much, Director. Thank you very much for your team. Thank you much to the councillors. Director, by next week we need to have that meeting, that site visit. Please, by next week we need to really have that site visit with the Section 80, that we visit these areas, so that our next Section 80 we have covered the site visit. Director, the one last thing that we need to say, that we need to fast track, you need to speak with the BAC, they need to fast track the issue of we cannot be having more than 10,000 water meters sitting somewhere on stores for so long without anything. That is creating a bad reflection on us. It's like a wasteful expenditure. For some time, we need to speed up that issue. And again, Director, I know maybe we're going to fight or anything, but coming to this adjustment budget, we must try and make sure that we make lots of changes, so that we don't just in every meeting we speak. When councillors raise issues, we must try and address them in this adjustment budget. The issue of speed bumps, which are not budgeted, we need to address them, all those issues. All other issues that we think that we can address them, we need to address them. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, committee members, to the members of public. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.